I think we have got to do more as a campaign than just go after Trump.
According to reporting out of the Washington Post over the weekend, Bernie Sanders has warned the Joe Biden campaign that he may lose if he doesn't focus more on the economic agenda. Now, this is something that many people have been saying for quite some time, that right now the Joe Biden strategy has simply been to be anti-Trump, which I think is more effective this time around than in 2016, as Trump has been president for 4 years, and we've seen the destruction he's caused on the coronavirus as one example. But you still have to get that cohort of people that need to feel like they're voting for something. So watch Bernie Sanders respond to this reporting on MSNBC.
The Washington Post reporting the Democratic primary runner-up Bernie Sanders has expressed his concerns privately over the Biden camp's approach to financial or economic policy matters and their appeal to more progressive voters. Sanders, the independent Vermont senator, quote, has told associates that Biden is at serious risk of coming up short in the November elections if he continues his vaguer, more centrist approach, according to the people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe sensitive talks. Senator Bernie Sanders joins me now. Good morning, Senator. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. You've obviously seen these reports. Are they true?
No, of course they're not true. I mean, look, what I have said privately is what I have said publicly. And that is, I think Biden's in an excellent position to win this election. But I think we have got to do more as a campaign than just go after Trump. Trump is a disaster. I think most people know it. But we also have to give people a reason to vote for Joe Biden. And Joe has some pretty strong positions on the economy. And I think we should be talking about that more than we have. Now, we have done, Ali, 8 battleground states virtual rallies, talking to, several million people. And I think what people want to hear is what Joe is going to do to raise the minimum wage. And he supports a $15 an hour minimum wage. What he's going to do to make sure that we create millions of good paying jobs in this country. And he has a very strong plan for the infrastructure. He knows that we can create jobs combating climate change, which God knows we need to do, seeing what's going on in the West Coast right now. They want equal pay for equal work. They want us to expand health care to as many people as possible, lower the cost of prescription drugs. I think those are some of the issues that people want to hear a little bit more from the Biden campaign about.
Of course, Bernie Sanders is exactly right. There is absolutely no downside for Joe Biden to run on his specific policy platform. He has the anti-Trump vote down. People that don't like Donald Trump, they're going to vote for Joe Biden. He has that vote. So he doesn't really need to keep banging that drum. It wouldn't hurt, obviously, to continue discussing the failure Trump is, especially on an issue like the coronavirus. Just very clear when you compare the U.S. to other countries around the world. But now Biden really needs to focus on the voters that are not excited and don't plan to vote. People that need a reason to go out and vote. So, look, Biden's platform obviously is not the Bernie Sanders platform. But Biden is offering some things that he could be running on. $15 an hour, minimum wage. Expanding healthcare with a public option. Making making public colleges and universities tuition free for families making under $125K a year. Like, these are very specific policy positions that Biden could be discussing more in order to get many of those voters that right now are not engaged out to vote for him. There is no downside to running on these issues. And if you look back in 2016, Hillary Clinton also was not very specific about her platform, did not really run on her platform, and she lost. Now, obviously, look, Trump's been president for 4 years. I think the anti-Trump vote is a lot stronger this time around, as people have seen the destruction firsthand. So there's no, as I said, there's no downside to voting or to running against Trump or running as the anti-Trump candidate and showcasing how horrible Trump has been. There's no downside to that. But there's also no downside to also including into your discussion the very specific policy platform that you have. people are very used to hearing politicians make very vague statements. So right now what you see Biden doing is making statements like, oh, I'll expand access to healthcare. I'll raise wages, which every single politician says this. But when you are specific about what the actual policy is, $15 an hour, public option, then people have more of an ability to really latch on to what you are saying and actually tend to believe you because you are being more specific about your platform. So Bernie, exactly right here. Now let me get to some of the reaction. Actually, first, there's a piece of this that was not included in that clip. He also encouraged Biden to focus more on Latino and young voters, groups that broadly supported Sanders during the primary. Biden has struggled to build enthusiasm among young voters, and some Democrats have have expressed concerns about what they see as the campaign's lack of outreach to Latino voters, which Sanders echoed on MSNBC. So this kind of goes in line with discussing the platform in Biden doing that, and also bringing out, I think Bernie also mentions here, bringing out people like AOC to campaign with Biden. That helps with the outreach. And that right now is not at all what Biden's doing, and Biden is not doing very well with Latino voters, which Bernie Sanders dominated with during the primary. So he should listen to Sanders here, because Bernie has the supporters that Joe didn't have, and vice versa, which is why Biden ended up winning the primary, because a lot of voters, Democratic voters, tend to be older, or voters in general, at least during primaries, tend to be older. So Biden was able to dominate with older voters, won that way. But voters under 45, Bernie dominated with those. So this is the time to bring those two groups together by listening to Bernie Sanders and doing what he did to reach out to those voters. Now, I was actually surprised to see the reaction here from Democrats. So the Washington Post writes, Democrats across the ideological spectrum, Biden's campaign included, indicated they agree with Bernie Sanders. Quote, we know that we have work to do. Biden's senior campaign advisor, Simone Sanders, said on ABC's This Week, she said the campaign is going to continue to do that work. The critique from the party's far left also drew a cosign from its center. Former Congressman John Delaney, arguably the only Democratic presidential contender more moderate than Biden, tweeted that Sanders is right about this. We have to campaign on specific plans for jobs, pay, healthcare, education, the things that matter to working families. When even John Delaney can understand how important it is to campaign on these issues, Biden has to clue in. And again, that doesn't mean you don't talk about the failure of Trump. Of course, that's part of the message. But you also have to reach out to these voters that you don't currently have. Now, I'm not going to go through this, but I just want to show you. Look, this is Biden's plan, post-secondary education plan. And there's substance here. There's a lot to this, surprisingly. I know it's, we don't often talk about, or we don't really think about substance when it comes to Joe Biden because he doesn't discuss it. But when it comes to his actual platform on paper, on his website, there are details here. Many specific policy details that he would, at least saying that he will fight for if he becomes president. And it wouldn't hurt him at all to run on some of these things. And this is just on education. So if you want more detail on that stuff, you can go to the Biden website, obviously. But I just wanted to show you that, there is actual substance to some of Biden's platform. Obviously, though, it doesn't go far enough and doesn't go to what is even close to what is necessary right now. But still, hell of a lot more than Trump's offering. But I'm going to show you my tweet here because the tweet I want to show you is deleted. So there was some reaction to Bernie saying these things that was, of course, negative or attacking Bernie Sanders over his comments here. So the initial comment, which I don't have access to now because deleted, was basically saying that Bernie lost the primary, so why should we listen to him because he lost? And my response to this every single time is that Biden did not win on policy. There's a built-in assumption here that Biden won because of policy, so why should he listen to Bernie Sanders? Or the built-in assumption is that Joe Biden won the primary, so why should he listen to Bernie Sanders at all? Well, the fact is Biden won for reasons that Bernie Sanders didn't, but also Bernie Sanders was popular for reasons that Joe Biden wasn't. So Joe Biden won on personality, lack of media scrutiny over his record, and Obama era nostalgia. Bernie Sanders got in second place, almost won because of policy. That's why Bernie Sanders is popular. So in order to reach that base of voters, again, these are very two different groups. The Joe Biden supporters in the primary and Bernie supporters in the primary, two very different groups. The Bernie voters care about policy. Biden voters don't. I dare you to ask a Biden voter in your life, a Biden primary voter, ask them to name 3 specific Biden policies. And expanding access to healthcare doesn't count. 3 specific Biden policies. Good luck. Most people don't. Most Biden supporters have no idea, because that isn't why they voted for him. They voted for him out of familiarity. He was Obama's VP. He's a known quantity. No surprises. That's why they voted for him. So when you're trying to reach the people that you don't have, you have to understand why those other candidates, why Bernie Sanders got the support that he got, if you want to get his voters. It's not simply about Bernie coming out and saying, my voters should vote for Joe Biden. That's not going to work. Bernie voters didn't vote for him because Bernie demanded they vote for him. They voted for him because Bernie had a platform that they liked. Has to be the same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden has to be able to reach out to those voters. One last comment here. Branko here tweets out, Sanders earnestly and quite badly wants Biden to win, something parts of the left attack him for pretty harshly. So his alarm about Biden's campaign is maybe worth listening to. Yeah, if you've seen anything of Bernie Sanders in the press, he really wants Biden to win. I would say, look, Bernie worked hard for Hillary in 2016, ignoring all the media BS around him not working hard. Bernie was at more campaign events for Hillary than anybody else except her own family. So Bernie worked his ass off for Hillary Clinton. But with Biden, I think he's making a better case. I think he's doing more media appearances for Joe Biden. He's able to make the policy case in a way that he wasn't with Hillary Clinton. So this is, when you have someone who so obviously wants Biden to win, is just putting out there different ways that Biden could reach the Bernie base, maybe you should listen to Bernie. And anybody trying to attack Bernie over that, I'm glad this comment was deleted. Maybe she realized it was pretty stupid, because anybody attacking Bernie over advice that he's given to the campaign, you just aren't paying attention. Bernie knows why he was popular, and he simply wants Joe Biden to be able to tap into at least some of that.